Hey, sweetie, I'm not going to get involved in your relationship.
No, come on, it's just a simple favor. When's the last time I asked you to do something for me?
Yesterday, you made me look in your ear to see if there was a ladybug in it.
When is the last time I asked you to do something that wasn't a medical emergency?
Yesterday, you made me look in your ear to see if there was a ladybug in your ankle.
All right, then. I have no choice but to go on to plan B.
What's that?
Run around outside with a wet head and try to catch a cold.
Good morning.
Hello.
You're really going to enjoy yourself today. Not only do you get to meet my relatives, but since my aunt's nursing home is catering the party, all of the food is incredibly soft, it's like an vacation for your teeth.
All right.
You sure you're okay with this? Sheldon, my relatives are going to talk to you.
I got that number. Headset. I won't hear a word the old geezers are saying.
Those two are a pair. One of the top's a male. And in there should be a blue steel and an opal borelli hanging out. Female blue steel, male opal borelli. Thick as thieves. I'm hoping to get a hybrid there. Ghost. Ghost angelfish fry. There's a pile of wigglers right there. There's my male German blue. Haven't paired him yet. Oddly enough, that big angelfish is making these two severums feel a lot more comfortable, come out a lot more. They had for days. Now that I've got him in there with them, they come out quite a bit. There's the Daphne. I doubt you can see it in there. Yeah, maybe. I put my whole of my culture upstairs in a 30-gallon. It was doing great, but I shouldn't have put all my eggs in one basket because eventually got too big. I don't know what happened. I'm thinking it's the size of the culture itself, and the whole tank crashed. Lost my culture. Lucky the guy I was getting them from, he lived like an hour away when I first got the cultures. He now lives in town here. So it was really easy just to get a couple 2-liter bottles is what he stores them in. I got a couple 2-liter bottles and started over at the Daphne. And then here's my pair that made the ghost. This one's still all faded out from the white. I think you can see the little bit of pearl scale blue highlights and stuff. She actually has like a nice black spot on the middle of her tail, like right at the base of her tail, I guess, and across her eyes when she gets in a tank that's not all white, I guess. But she has a black line across her eyes and down the middle of her tail right there. You can kind of see it in the tail. Yeah, those guys made the ghost, I guess. I still want to see what these fry look like. Where's the Agassiz hiding in the wood? Aging barrels. I don't know if you can see that right there by that algae covered piece of Anubias leaf. It's an Anubias flower. I literally cannot wait till that flowers. I took some pictures of the Uravaceus creviceps or whatever. I've gotten that thing to flower maybe a dozen times now. I actually cut out all the runners with flowers last night. Cape Fear lily. Second one over there. Madagascar lace back there. Still waiting for this. This is supposed to be Cuba Ludwiga, and it's still got a lot of its leaves that were from when it was grown out of water. I'm still drowning it. I can't wait till that actually looks the way it's supposed to. Crips reaching the top of the tank. They've got the beag. I suppose you can't see her though. Another crypt up there with the sword hanging out, reaching the top. We've got marble queen sword in the back. Put these in here. Save my CO2. No surface agitation in this tank. This thing's like glass in the top here. And I wound up tearing all this out. I had a whole carpet of this and found out some of it had to be dwarf sage, so I wanted all just my chain sword and a murder through that. That made a huge mess, kind of set back in the tank. Some Anubias. This piece of Anubias is doing really good. Probably because it's hiding directly under the overflow box. Less light. Nice big long runner from what appears to be my ocelot sword. And there's one that's from the flame sword. A couple little babies on it. That comes all the way from over this guy right here. There's one of the marble queens. Look at the size of roots on that. That thing's ready to plant. I'll have to pull that soon. There's another one from that same flame sword going out in the back. And this has only got 3 fish in it. I'm pretty sure these are 3 males. I thought this and this was a pair, but apparently these guys are just buddies. And this would be the lowest end of the totem pole male, the wild green, getting beat up. You can see his mouth from fighting. I need to take my other big pair and put him back in there. See, you're being a... And then we got this down here, which I'm trying to do pots for right now. I got one pot in there, but got some blue hydro, a bunch of stuff I'd like to get in pots. I've got them, the whole being silicone right now. They're being drying, so I can dirt them. This here, I'm trying to regrow these swords, propagate them or whatever. They're all in my refugium, but I'm noticing some algae problems. So at night, this thing's actually getting a bubble a second in my refugium. So this whole tank, I guess you could say, I'm still dosing CO2 at night on this system. With no ill effects at the fish in the morning. I've been quite vigilant. There's my CO2 reactor that I normally use. That was the first one I ever made. It's got that big union I used to put bio balls and stuff in there like they do those professional style ones, but there's no point. When you're building these long, it's all about the flow and the mashing effect. I didn't need those bio balls. In fact, they restricted the flow. Why bother when that's still where the main of my flow goes through to the turn. And then the room I never take anybody to. I suppose we got to show this tank first. We'll have to take you in the laundry room. The laundry room's always a mess because the boys are 7, 5, and 2, so we don't, put their clothes in their room in a dresser or anything like that. The one kid's so vain he'd change clothes all day. The other one will tear through everything just to find what he wants. So we keep everybody's clothes in the laundry room. Mine, the wife's, the kids. So the laundry room is going to be kind of messy when I bring you fellers in there. This is the Hand's new Dark Angel. That would be the Silver Pigeon. There's the Blue Steel. He's the fish I always think is walking around my tank posing in the Blue Steel look. Alright, here's the laundry room. As you can see, lots and lots of clothes. Here's my fish tank section. It's getting cold enough up here, I'm not running the portable air conditioner. And we got rock for cap for the stuff. This is all my water change device. This is the return pump. Takes too long to get the water out of the 120 with just the Aqueon, so I actually attach this to the Aqueon hose and pump it out the 120. Here's my spare air pump. It's a 60 watt air pump, and my Coralife is a 60 watt air pump, but this thing is considerably bigger than the Coralife one. So this is it's just in case. I figured I'm running so much off air. If I have an air pump problem, even though I have the parts to rebuild my air pump, I could be sitting really screwed. Whole bunch of tanks, dying bacteria, trying to recycle. A couple more spare pumps. This return pump's 400. This one's 60. This one's 400 too, that I pump it out with. So these are my two 330s sitting up here. Spare light, quilt batting, some wood. Here's the sink. Gets the main of the work. Just sitting there, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got that from my buddy. Got to fill some RO for the breeders here later. I've just been filling, those 5-gallon containers. Here's all the stuff to get rinsed and drying. I got another splitter, another bubble counter. This thing, the only one that uses that's the wife. I'm too scared I'm going to break it. Wreck-It Ralph, remember? What else? There's the pots waiting to dry and stuff. This is going to be for the whiteworms culture right now. It's got food in it. There, you can barely see it. It's my air pump sitting on a shelf going through the wall. And there's the 50-pound tank and my CO2. I guess that's it.